this Shea, we're going to be trying out the soap from Grooming Department. So this is in their Janus formula, Janus base. It's vegan. I'll let you check out the link in the description for all the ingredients. But one thing that should be noted, that there's no fragrance oils or essential oils that are put in for fragrance for this soap. There are essential oils in here as part of the base, but there's nothing in here that's supposed to make a particular scent. So this smells like soap. To me, it reminds me of like powdered clothes detergent, which is not a bad thing. That's a good thing. It just smells clean. So like an unscented clothes detergent. It just has a clean smell. So no particular smell there. On the this soap, I didn't see it up on the Grooming Department website. I think because it's sold out, but it was still up on the West Coast shaving site, even though it's sold out there as well. And the description there said that it kind of smelled like a green fougere. Possibly. I mean, I don't really get that. I get soap. But it's a pleasant smell. But this is the first Grooming Department soap I've ever had, and I understand it's supposed to perform, even, you know, the vegan version, this Janus version is supposed to perform well. Their tallow-based soaps are regarded highly by the wet shaving community, and it's hard to find their stuff in stock. You know, currently West Coast Shaving and some others, and Italian Barber currently has the Valencia scent in what I believe is one of the tallow-based, and then the duck tallow or duck fat-based soaps. They have several of those at both West Coast Shaving and at Italian Barber. And I'm not sure about other retailers. If they're at other retailers, I'll put them below in the description as well. But that's what it looks like. It's just, it's sort of a soft soap, not overly soft, but it's you know, when you press on it, it indents. We're going to be using the Razor Rock 400 brush. This is the matte handle. This is a synthetic brush. So we'll give it a try here and see how it does with this soap. So let's just load the, dip the tips just to make that a little bit wetter. So let's start loading this brush up and see what this soap does. So I have to confess, I haven't read much about this soap in terms of whether it's thirsty or if it lathers really easily. Not really seeing much lather form on top of the puck. It's more of like a very thick, just loading like you would expect when you're trying to load your brush. So we'll dip the tips here to get started and see how it does, and see if we need to add more water. And I didn't realize till I did that first video of an actual shave where I was shaving on camera. I didn't realize I made such faces when I lather and when I shave. It's still pretty thick there. I'm gonna a little more water on the brush. See what that does. You know, if you happen to get too much water, you can always put the brush back on the puck and kind of load, make it a little thicker. So I really don't worry about too much water because I can adjust for that. And obviously you can adjust for too little water. So it just takes practice with each soap base, understanding what they take. And also people have different preferences. Some people really chase after a real thick, creamy lather. I mean, I prefer that. But I also don't try to spend an inordinate amount of time making that happen if I feel like I've got good slickness and cushion and protection. Again, as I've said before, pretty sloppy job when I lather, but it is what it is. And again, I'll put a little under the nose to appreciate the scent, even though there's not a scent here, but I want to kind of be able to describe it to you. Again, like, as with off the puck, it's just a soapy, clean smell. I will say that once lathered, It's not quite as strong in terms of like that chemical smell, and it's not a bad chemical smell on the puck. It's just that soapy, strong smell that kind of burns your nose just a little bit. Like it's so sharp that it like burns just a tad bit, but not in an unpleasant way. And again, you know, scent's very subjective, and so other people have different opinions of it. This soap is performing really well. It was rather thirsty. It took quite a bit of water, in my opinion, which is not a bad thing. Most of your top performing soaps do require more water, but we'll see how this performs as we shave. Okay, that's probably overkill. As I told you before in I think it was my last video, I tend to run my last paint strokes in the opposite direction of what the razor will be going on that particular pass. So, all right. It was hot here today. I think it got up to 98, 4th of July. And had a few scattered thunderstorms. I slept a good part of the day because I stayed up to 2 a.m. last night with my daughter and her friend, and we watched the beginning, or at least I did, the beginning of season 3 of Stranger Things. They actually stayed up all the way to 10 a.m. and watched all 8 episodes. I only made it through episode 2, and at episode 3 this old man had to lay down. But my wife and I got up through episode 5 tonight, so hopefully we'll get 6, 7, and 8 watched tomorrow. But so far so good. Great show. That's something I originally thought I would like when Stranger Things first came out, but I had a lot of people tell me that it probably wasn't what I thought it was, and I should check it out, and I do. I love it. And if you're a child of the 80s, it's worth watching just to see how well they get all the references right and the props, and it's pretty cool. The town we live in always has a great 4th of July fireworks display or celebration or performance or whatever you want to call it at the city park. And in my opinion, it's much larger than you would expect from like a town our size, or kind of a suburb town, kind of what people might call a bedroom town. Most people don't work here; they just live here and drive into the bigger town to work. But anyway, they decided this year to not do. Oh, by the way, we're shaving with the Parker 26C open comb. This is the first open comb I ever bought. I was first afraid to buy open combs because I heard they were more aggressive, but then I read posts that said no. And this, I even gave my Edwin Jagger DE89 to my brother, not because I didn't love it. I loved it, but I love the way an open comb moves the lather out of the way, and I don't find this one to be any more aggressive than that DE89. Anyway, for whatever reason this year, they decided not to do the fireworks on the 4th, probably because the 4th is on a Thursday. And there's other, fireworks shows to go to around the area. So what we did tonight is had a watermelon cooling in the fridge, and we cut that, and we watched the Capitol 4th on PBS, which I like to watch every year. Even if we're not home, I even record it. I just really enjoy being able to see those festivities from the National Mall. And John Stamos always does a really good job hosting that show, and he did again this year. So watching that's kind of become a tradition around our house, and had some good performances this year. All right, yeah, I'm just still smelling clean soap smell. It's very delightful, and yes, this soap performs excellently. So there's still quite a bit of residual slickness, and you can go back over no problem. It certainly was good primary slickness. All right, so let's move on to pass 2. Yeah, so we just watched the fireworks on TV. All right. I have this app on my phone, and I saw where there was a 6-point something magnitude, 6.4, 6.6, 6.8, something like that. In California today, it popped up, and I don't have good perspective on the Richter scale and what's major and that kind of thing. And so I saw this. So what the app does is, as soon as an earthquake happens, it tells you about it anywhere in the world, which is kind of cool. But I didn't, I thought, well, I don't know how big of a deal that is, and so I didn't flip over to CNN or anything to see if they were covering it. But then a little bit later, the breaking news apps on my phone started, reporting it, and so I thought, well, it must be a big deal. So haven't seen much coverage since early this afternoon. So, but it does look like it did quite a bit of property damage. I hope any of you out in that area are okay and didn't suffer much damage to your property. Okay, so we went with the grain on the first pass. This pass will go across the grain. Yeah, so I was wanting to get a soap from Grooming Department, and I almost bought, I think they call it the Mallard Fougere. Look at Mallard because of the duck fat. There's about 3 or 4 different duck fat soaps that they have right now. I like Fougere, so I almost bought that one, but I was intrigued by the simplicity of this label, and also it's a vegan soap. I just wanted to try out and see how it performed. Thanks to all 12 of you who have subscribed at this point. I think one of those is my wife and one's my daughter, so 10 of you probably. I will be holding a giveaway when I hit 50 subscribers. I'll tell you more about that in an upcoming video. I already know what I'll be giving away, but I'll save that for another video as well to tell you about that. But I'll be doing regular giveaways at those 50 subscriber intervals for the foreseeable future. Again, it's still hot in this bathroom despite the air being on. Okay, let's go for that against the grain pass. Again, sweating, working up a sweat. One of these hot days where our air conditioner couldn't even keep up with the heat outside. kept it cool enough, but not as cool as the thermostat was set on. So I actually am showering and shaving, before bed tonight. I do that frequently. I find it helps me relax. But most times when there's a work day, the next day I'll actually shave and shower before work rather than the night before. But I find this to be so relaxing that I frequently like to do it before I go to bed. So I was shaving the other day, and I had my bottle of fine American Blend aftershave on the counter, and had just gotten out of the shower and was drying off, and my towel hit the aftershave and it shattered. Not cool. It was about halfway empty, so it's better than it being a brand new thing. And my bathroom smells great, by the way. But I immediately placed an order for a replacement because, as I mentioned in that aftershave video, that's one of my top 3 favorites for summer and spring, and definitely in my top 10 for, year round. So I really like this soap. I have a lot of aftershaves, particularly like old school, like Brut and Penard Clubman and Old Spice and Aqua Velva and like Skin Bracer. And sometimes you want to use those and they don't necessarily match with the soap, and you don't always have to match the soaps. There's nothing saying you have to do that. But it's nice to have a soap that's pretty neutral. I guess the other 2 I would have that are neutral would be like Mitchell's Wool Fat and Haslinger. But yeah, this soap performs really well. So I'm doing sort of what's a 4th pass here, which is kind of a pickup pass for me. Again, I have my hair swirls in this area, on my neck. But I also find this across the growth in the opposite direction. It does a good job picking up the whiskers right below my sideburns. So in essence, this is across the grain, but in the opposite direction. And again, across the grain in terms of how it grows on my face and not so much my neck. But if you're using the same direction, you're eventually going to hit all those directions, if that makes sense. So it's kind of with the grain for part of that hair right there. I can hear right there from the audio feedback that when it gets right under those sideburns, you can hear the hair being cut. Need of a haircut. This time last year I actually cut my own hair once. It turned out fine. I'll tell you that story and share the photos at some time in the future, but I'm honestly tempted to cut it again, although I have a lady does a really good job that cuts my hair, and they recently upgraded their chairs to those old-timey, old school barbershop chairs. Really comfortable leather and all that chrome. And anyway, understand. I'm making an appointment and go get it cut. All right, let's see. Well, yeah, pretty smooth, not feeling much. A little bit right there. Pretty close. And with a soap this good, I don't worry at all about going back over where the razor's already been. All right, let's rinse this off and finish the shave up. All right, got my face washed and my shirt. Because it just looks like I'm sloppy when I lather. I am sloppy when I rinse. All right. Okay. Yeah. Happens sometimes. You feel this one little other spot. Okay, that's good enough. Okay. I have a sample of Sterling's Bay Rum witch hazel and aloe splash. Blow that on. One of the things I love about Sterling's Bay Rum and a lot of their other soaps, and I'll actually probably make that a subject of a video in the future, is a lot of their scents. You know, I would have to guesstimate probably about 30% of their scents are only scented with essential oils, no fragrance oils. A lot of them, you know, the other 70% or so, rough estimate, do have fragrance oils. But that's one of the things I like about this. Now I can definitely feel the cinnamon in that, because I can feel it warm in my face other than just like an alcohol burn. All right, the reason I use the Bay Rum witch hazel and aloe is I'm going to use Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements Boomtown Bay Rum. It's their like atomic age Bay Rum with this note of like gun smoke added to it. So like getting a Bay Rum shave in an old west town. Had samples of this. I finally bought a bottle of it. I love the way it smells. All right. Ooh, feel the burn. Feel the burn. For a close shave. Yep, very happy with that soap. All right, and then finally, finish it off with Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements Boomtown Bay Rum Star Jelly. This is their balm. I've ever seen that before. It's kind of a clearish white balm. Smells just like the Boomtown Bay Rum aftershave. Yeah, so what I assumed is some cinnamon oils in the Bay Rum witch hazel splash from Sterling. I'm feeling that much like you would in Captain's Choice's Cat o' Nine Tails. So I'm feeling a bit of that cinnamon heat. It also reminds me of I have Sterling's hot apple cider, which has that cinnamon in it as well. And I don't have any kind of allergic reaction. You can just feel that cinnamon sort of warming your skin. So it's kind of a mix between the menthol I feel and the warming from the cinnamon. Anyway, great shave. Really enjoy soap from the Grooming Department. Would love it if you would subscribe. Make a comment below. Particularly, could you tell me if you've tried Grooming Department soaps before and which one is your favorite? You know, which ones you've tried maybe and which one's your favorite. Also leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and in addition to subscribing, hit that notification bell for me. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.